to be paid. A big price should be paid. There's never been anything like this in the history of our country.
President Trump and the First Lady also celebrating National Day of Prayer at the White House. The IRS says if you receive a stimulus check addressed to a deceased family member, you should write void on the back of the check and mail it to the Treasury Department along with an explanation for the return. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature, changing the world, one life at a time.
Once you start taking it, if you stop, you realize how much it was helping you because all those pains and stuff start coming back.
I've always felt very tired and I just don't have any energy, and that's all changed. I can't remember the last time I felt as good as I do now.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Go to balanceofnature.com today and use discount code USA.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-610-5739. 800-610-5739. That's 800-610-5739. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
The FDA is removing approval for more than 60 mask manufacturers out of China after finding they were not performing to standard. They found that instead of filtering 95% of particles in the air, they were only capturing about 20% of them. The singer-songwriter who fronted Bad Company for years has died. USA Radio Network's Chris Barnes has the details.
Brian Howe died Wednesday in Florida at 66, reportedly of a heart attack. He had replaced Paul Rodgers as the lead vocalist for Bad Company in 1983. He did most of the writing for the band's album Holy Water in 1990, the most successful album for the group, helped along by the hit If You Needed Somebody. Howe left Bad Company in 1994 for a solo career, but it never reached the level of his success with that band. And for USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
You're listening to USA Radio News.
Working from home? I'm Chad Dodd, veterinarian and consultant to Limp Bells. Here are some tips for keeping your dog fit while staying at home. Find 15 minutes twice a day and walk your pet at a decent pace around your place. Play hide and seek by hiding some kibble or favorite toys and letting your dog find them. If you have stairs and your dog is mobile, walk up and down twice a day for 5 to 10 minutes. Or better yet, try a power walk on your terrace or backyard for some fresh air. There are more helpful pet care tips at youmove.com, spelled youmove.com.
Hundreds of Denny's restaurants are getting federal loans from the Paycheck Protection Program. The program is intended to help small businesses stay afloat during the pandemic, but has exceptions for hotels and restaurant chains. In a filing this week, Denny, though, is saying that over half of their roughly 1,600 franchises have received loans. Jason Westhoff is the CEO of Cousins Subs, and one of the things we discuss is companies and organizations like the Los Angeles Lakers getting approved for PPP loans.
Wow, when the Laker thing came through, that to me was it was indicative, I guess, of the leadership of the organization, the fact that they felt that was an opportunity that they should be applying for. Within the restaurant industry, we saw the publicly traded restaurants taking it and then giving it back. Certainly, at the end of the day, the CEOs and the boards of these companies are trying to make their businesses financially viable as well as they can for the long haul. Whether they did it for the right reason or the wrong reason, whether they were educated on the process or whether they weren't, is not up to me really to judge. Really, from my standpoint, is the fact that my only frustration is the fact that a number of our franchisees were unable to get through the process because the banks didn't have any clarity. And I applaud the government and I applaud the SBA for moving this program forward. I mean, certainly without it, we'd be having a lot more issues long term.
The entire interview I did with Westhoff is posted on usaradio.com. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Welcome to this evening's episode of Rush Hour. I am your host, Kelly Rush, and we are a production of America Matters Media, the home of quality conversation. You can check us out on the web at americamatters.us. That's americamatters.us, and we are also on Facebook at facebook.com/Reno Rush Hour. That's also on YouTube and Twitter. All over the place. We're just a multimedia powerhouse here. And so you can call in. This is an interactive program. We would love to hear from you. 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. You can text us if you're shy and don't want to hear your voice on the radio. 775-237-2266. Or just drop us a line in the Facebook comments watch party comments box. I'll get it right one of these darn days. My special guest today is Tim Parrott of Silver State
Token.
Silver State Token. Mm-hmm. Silver State Token. Brand new company. Silver State Token LLC. And it's very, very exciting stuff. So I'm really excited to have you on. So we're going to be talking about all kinds of future stuff that is happening. Really, really exciting in the world of just neat stuff that's happening. So we're going to be talking about kind of what's happening in the financial world. That's the economy is in some flux. Things like, money and the stock market and cryptocurrency and just sort of things that are changing in our world that frankly need to. And I talk about this a lot. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to hear your ideas. And you're in real estate. And,
I have 2 licenses, one for California, one for Nevada, as well.
That's smart, very smart. And so tell me, where you came from and what your background is and what you're doing now. So.
Well, essentially, I come out of the Midwest. Born in Kentucky, raised in Cincinnati, but I have not been back there for over 20 some odd years because my career has taken me literally across all 48 of the contiguous United States in one form or another. And I've worked for companies like Procter & Gamble, General Electric, General Motors, some of the small boys. Some of the small boys on the block.
Just a couple, tiny
small
businesses.
Yeah, I've been managing a lot of facilities and facilities development, business planning and business development for a long period of time for a lot of various companies. And I ended up here in Reno 4 years ago as the director of facilities for the Nugget Casino, and helping them transition into with the Marnell Group now, who now owns the facility.
Right. And so your original background was engineering, correct?
I started off, I've got 3 degrees, one in architecture, one in engineering, and the other one's in finance.
You're kind of dumb, aren't you?
A little bit.
Not real smart.
I've been known. I've been known to hit the wall every now and then.
And you got started way, way early in computers, kind of like I did back in the early 80s, mid 80s.
That's right.
CAD and stuff like that.
We were one of the first groups on the block. I was in the pharmaceutical field at that time, working in the pharmaceutical field. And we brought on the CAD/CAM programs, AutoCAD, for those, if we're allowed to mention names.
Oh, please.
And
no restrictions other than the
that one,
big 7 words.
The little white one, the little white page. But we started off with the CAD/CAM, so you ended up having to have DOS because you needed some DOS commands in order to create certain items within a drawing, and the layering concept and everything else. So I've actually carried that through. I've got a little bit of background in HTML, a little bit of programming in there as well. I've managed some programs in the past from software development, and those were always interesting. And I think we were one of the first groups when I was managing a technical engineering core to bring in touchscreens. In the printing world. So, I kind of got a broad background on a lot of things. I know enough about everything to be able to pull folks if I need to pull folks in.
Me too, kind of.
Yeah. And of course, I've got arms across the nation, and a few of them overseas as well. Sure. So you have an opportunity to do that. So that's kind of where my background is. And like I say, I came here really as the director of facilities to help them move from the Squawk organization into the Marnell organization.
Sure.
And have hung around since.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those places, either, you kind of love it or you don't. And...
Well, the geography here is, from an engineering point of view, the engineer in me loves the geography here. And the fact that there is much to play with outdoors.
Sure.
From the mountains that are only, 17 miles here from Reno to all the way, going to the heading east across the Midwest.
Sure, a little different than Ohio.
Well, actually, a lot of folks don't know that Ohio is actually split into two halves. The north of 70, which is essentially Columbus and Dayton, is actually part of the plains, the Great Plains, and it goes all the way through Pennsylvania into New York.
Yep.
A lot of folks don't know that. But the southern half belongs kind of the Appalachian area, which is a whole different world as well. So, yeah.
But
interesting.
But you don't have what you got here. You don't have Lake Tahoe, and you don't have
Well, the lake is
and-
obviously one of the key features here in this area, and the fact that there is, for all intent and purposes, at least some snow here all year round.
And we're fixing to get more next week. How weird is that?
Well, I happen to be a high school baseball official and softball and volleyball and everything, right? So this is the worst time of the year for outdoor sports, and of course, this is when the weather's the worst.
Right, it is. I had a flight canceled on May 22nd once.
Is that right?
On heading back, I'd come up to see. This is before I lived here. I had come up to see my parents and was headed back home to Dallas, and not. I loved it. It was great. They got an extra day.
Yeah, well, the current virus situation hasn't helped with all the schools closed down, so we'll see if the summer sports open up at all.
Yeah.
As well. So I've been doing that for 17, 18 years across the nation as well.
Wow. So you are just a, jack of many,
I'd like to think that I'm kind of still there are still some universal men left, the Jeffersons, the Franklins,
Renaissance men.
The Renaissance guys. Because I've got a large curiosity for a lot of natural things, as you well know, because we've talked about some of the things I think that are coming into the future here.
Yes.
With a wide variety of things, not just potentially the financial world, but I think also the education, which was part of your earlier program.
Yes.
Today. So, I think that the whole series of systems that exist are bound to change before this is all over.
Yes, and that's very prescient of you for someone of your generation, too, as well. No. I did not mean it that way at all. I did not mean it that way.
But I have a sense of humor, so you can laugh with me.
We've got to go to a break. We'll be back for the second segment of today's Rush Hour with Kelly Rush and Tim Parrott after these messages. Stay tuned.
It's your worldwide invite to Charbecue, the Butcher's Kitchen. Perfection in tri-tip, rib tips, and brisket. Rotisserie chicken with the white sauce. All hardwood smoked. Old world sausage aged to perfection. Wood smoke fire. Charbecue, the Butcher's Kitchen. 7689 South Virginia. Call in and pick up dinner. Charbecue, the Butcher's Kitchen. Get in and get real.
It's sweet. There's no place like it. And as we all know, it's where the heart is. Home. It matters. I'm Grant Brewer with Home at Last, a housing program of Nevada Rural Housing Authority. Join me and expert guests every Tuesday at 4 p.m. on KCKQ 1180 for Home Matters, a show dedicated to all things, well, home. Each week I chat with the industry's best, lenders, real estate professionals, builders, insurance experts, home inspectors, developers, and specialized housing program experts. They grace the mic and we dig into today's hot housing topics. Tune in to Home Matters each Tuesday at 4 p.m. at 1180 a.m. KCKQ, the home of community radio. Or listen live and listen again online at americamatters.us. Join us.
Welcome to my house. It's my house.
Ready for a live game of Clue? For nearly 30 years, Funtime Theaters held private and monthly dinner murder mysteries. Each night is different, and each event includes dinner and a show. You're the detective, and your job is to figure out who did what to who and why. At the end of the night, a super sleuth and not so super sleuth are awarded prizes. This is a great event for a birthday or holiday party and team building events for your office. Visit funtimetheater.com to make your reservations and use promo code RADIO for $5 off each admission.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
This overload.
Shannon Lawson here. Join us for the Nevada Radio Roundup, Fridays at 2 p.m. A good news variety show all about the local scene. The Nevada Roundup, Friday at 2.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the second segment of today's Rush Hour. I am your host, Kelly Rush, and my guest today is Tim Parrott of Silver State Token. And we're talking about all different kinds of stuff, economy, finances, currency, technology, mindsets, and how things are shifting with all of it. And so let's start with mindset. You just, I don't know how this happened, just got exposed to Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
So you haven't gotten through it yet.
That's
but
true.
It deals with kind of mindset around kind of life. Now, so now that I've said that, I'm going to go back to the start of what I said: economy, finances, currency, and technology, and how things are shifting. So we know that we had this little precipitating incident with this COVID thing, and it has roiled the global economy. Now, when I say economy, everybody immediately thinks about it's money, and economy is everything we do. It's your household, your job, it's not just money. That's just a part of it. So, but let's talk about the money.
Well, I had an opportunity to go to the bank on Monday for the first time in months for some businesses, right? And it was clear that I couldn't get in on a Monday. Mm-hmm. And so I had to come in on a Tuesday and set up for all of that as well. And then, of course, within that, setting things up and getting things ready for opportunities that were associated with that, it became very clear that the economy as we see it today is not going to last. It just cannot last. I'm sure that you've discussed with a lot of other folks the fact that the 2.2 trillion is sitting out there, and there's more behind that as well getting ready to phase in, which can only mean that the dollar is going to go somewhere much like the 30s in Germany at some point in time, and we're going to have to deal with that. I mean, folks talked about things being put off to your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. Well, I think it's here now. You're already seeing it.
Well, and so they say, but go ahead. Your children, your grandchildren, they've been saying that for 107 years.
It's already here now because you're seeing it in the prices of things already going up. I mean, milk and eggs. I mean, the essentials are already going up as far as everything is concerned. So with that,
I haven't been to the store. I can't get there because they're all closed by the time I get out of here.
Fortunately, I have somebody.
Can you clip your little thingy there? Do it up to your lapel because it's thicker.
All right.
There you go.
There you go. So anyway, I have somebody actually is out there doing the shopping, which works out well. And but I hear about the lines that are being initiated, all the health related items as well, with everything going on. So I mean, you can say what you want to at milk at almost $5 a gallon these days.
Who pays that?
Well, I can tell you I am because I like milk.
Yeah, but I haven't seen that.
Well, but the bottom line is things are moving up. So the question became for me some time ago is, how are you going to protect yourself, and what is it really going to do? Because the dollar, as it stands today, certainly cannot continue to be the global driving force for economy across the board with a wide variety of things. The SWIFT system is under review, I guess is the word I will use at this time, in addition to the debt loads that are going on between nation to nation, country to country, and that is affecting individuals. So over a period of time, and of course, the hot new topic in the area is the cryptocurrency world. And that's been around actually since about 1998, when the first series of papers came out, and then 2002 was another kind of step forward.
98, really?
Goes back that far. And yeah, the first papers were actually not written by, Satoshi is the big.
Oh, was that when he started?
No, he was actually after that.
Oh, okay.
So he took the first series of white papers, if you will, and then.
I see. Was he the one that actually formed the first one? The idea started in 98 is what you're saying.
The idea was in 98. We're talking about ideas and folks with future thinking and everything.
Gotcha.
Because I knew back in 86 that General Motors was going under by that time. And General Electric was going under in 86.
Well, dot bomb. I mean, we went through the first.
Yeah, I mean, and right or wrong, the government stepped in without a lot of folks knowing and enforced the businesses to stay, because the depression would have actually kicked in back then. So, when you own a business, you get an opportunity to see and talk and see a lot of things with other folks. So, in the process of doing that, 98, Satoshi has come along. 2010 is when really Bitcoin has landed and taken. And so it's here to stay. It's not going away. The other big boys on the block, Ethereum and EOS and everybody else, Litecoin and all those guys that are riding on top of the blockchain and using that to move transactions and contracts and a wide variety of things. So the world is, I say, not regressing, but we certainly are re-evaluating. Shifting peer-to-peer again, and the bartering and the going back and forth in the agreement, a horse for a saddle for, whatever.
Commerce by
So the
consensus.
the cryptocurrencies are here to stay. Governments are trying to deal with that because, again, the concept of being peer-to-peer. That's right. Well, that's right. Peer-to-peer, and it's non-sovereign in concept. Doesn't really belong to a nation because, you are.
Well, non-sovereign just means decentralized. Not controlled by any one particular entity. It's just, like you said, peer-to-peer.
Yeah. Well, the transactions themselves obviously are all going to be agreed upon by a decentralized system of some kind for all of these cryptocurrencies, unlike what's going on with the central banks right now that are controlling a lot of things. And
well, like it was prior to 1913 when they created the central banks.
There you
Basically.
go. Yeah. So,
people don't realize that it wasn't always this way is the issue.
Yeah.
So
you talk about looking things in a new way. Certainly the cryptocurrencies are the new thought with a little bit of steam behind it and likely to continue to grow. You're seeing more and more articles, more and more videos, more and more, a wide variety of things on the cryptocurrency side of things as folks look to alternative ways to protect what they have or to move forward into whatever that new economy is.
Sure.
As far as it goes. But it's protected moving into the new economy.
Well, that's the key of the shift is how do we make it not do this roiling boom bust, oh my God thing.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to figure out. And that's, I think, what's going on right now is what are we doing? How do we do it? And that's what needs to happen. And I think, as these shifts occur, we look at, it's just how do we do this fairly, equitably, for the greater good. It's not about, it's just what's best for everybody. What's fair,
Yeah, I don't think, I've heard some conversations in the past about, the one size fits all. Well, the truth,
there is no such thing. There's
really
no such thing. It's like balance. This idea of balance. You keep hearing about, you got to find balance in your life. BS. Balance. It's like balance is like a teeter-totter. Have you ever been on a seesaw and made it balance in your life? No such thing. I was the fat kid. Never worked. It's harmony. You need to find harmony, which is, or homeostasis. There's this concept with your body. It searches for homeostasis, which means sometimes it's 55 45. Sometimes it's 90-10. Sometimes it's, 49-51. But there's no such thing as 50-50. But like the concept of marriage, everybody says, oh, my better half. BS. If it's not 100-100, baby, it ain't going to work. Ever.
You got to be totally committed.
You have to.
Yeah.
So, there is no balance. There is no 50-50. There's no, forget that. Forget that concept. It's got to be a state of harmony, which is a natural state of flow. It's constant flow, looking for what works equitably. What is, because there's never going to be this.
Well, yeah, exactly.
There's no such thing in life because the energy doesn't work that way. And we exist based on energy. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So we need to change our mindset. And that was what I started this whole conversation with.
And, that's why I say, I've been following this for a long, long period of time. In 2010, I knew that I needed to get into it, or at least wanted to be into it. Now, I'll say I don't own Bitcoin.
No,
and I don't own any of the other ones at the moment.
I'll tell you what, when cryptocurrency first came out, I went, whoa, everybody hold your horses. Good concept, not fully baked yet. Slow down, because I had a friend who owns a bar here, and he went all in. I said, Kev, whoa. Slow down. I am a technology, professional. Please be careful. And he was like, oh, I'm going to put my whole bar on this. I'm going to do the whole thing and it's all I'm going to accept. And no. And he almost lost his shirt. He did lose some, but he managed to get out in time but
we're clearly not there with the whole thing yet, but
we're getting there. And this is,
as you said, there's a percentage here and a percentage there that still makes sense. Mm-hmm. And over a period of time, you're going to see one grow and the other one lose and gain as far as everything is concerned. So, it's I wasn't ready for Bitcoin because, again, I think it has some fundamental flaws associated with it.
Whoever owns the base kernel that programs it can still steal it. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. We're getting there, though. But the idea is there. The idea is there, and we're getting there. So everybody, hang with us. We'll be back after this break for the second half of Rush Hour.
Would you like to increase your vitality? Disease develops within your body when the metabolic vitality of your cells is altered. Well, now there is a patented device that improves cell metabolism called Cell Vital. Cell Vital has been used for years by successful athletes to prepare for competition and improve performance. This is because Cell Vital increases blood and oxygen to your cells. Call 702-444-LUCKY and order your Cell Vital today. Cell Vital can help with cell regeneration after an activity by reducing stress, as well as be used for treating bruises, sprains, and muscle aches and pains. Cell Vital has also been shown to be beneficial for digestion, PMS, and smoking cessation. Get lucky with your health and call 702-444-5825. Accessories are available to help with specific body parts, such as the eyes, ears, and teeth. Animals, too, can benefit from Cell Vital for bone, joint, and circulation disorders. Call 702-444-LUCKY and get a free quote for your Cell Vital. That number again is 702-444-5825.
Destination Midtown. Experience the difference. Reno's premier shopping extravaganza. Everything imaginable and more. Midtown matters. Get down to Midtown.
Ponderosa Meats, the anchor of Midtown since 1954. USDA choice, USDA prime cut. Ponderosa grass-fed beef. Call 775-322-4063. Ponderosa Meats, tradition, quality, and prime service.
Midtown Reno. Experience the difference. Get down to Midtown. Midtown matters.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything.
I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor.
If making my detox public is gonna help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth. A message from Truth, the Ad Council, and ONDCP.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the second half of today's Rush Hour. I am your host, Kelly Rush, and I am here with Tim Parrott of Silver State Token. And as I said at the top of the show, we are a production of America Matters Media, and we podcast everything we do. It's I don't know why I said that. We're distributed to all the big podcast networks like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, Spreaker, blah, 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 whatever. I don't. What are they, Christian? Oh, you weren't. Never mind. Just we're out there. You'll find us. But if you call in, we're in an interactive program, 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. We would love to know what you think about this, or if you have any questions. You can text us as well, 775-237-2266, or drop a line in the Facebook Watch Party comments box. Go to facebook.com/Reno Rush Hour, and that watch party is going out there, or we're on the America Matters Media Facebook page. So you can check that out as well. We would love to hear from you. And so we're talking about the whole shift towards a new financial and economic paradigm, because this boom bust fiat, it's called fiat currency, this dollar, world exchange system that we currently use, that's based on this centralized thing, this World Bank, centralized, whether it's our Fed or the IMF or the whatever, different banks that they all collude together to screw us, basically. It's coming to an end. It's coming down. It really, really is. And, we're in the midst of that right now. We're seeing it. And I'll tell you that right now. Don't get scared. I'm not saying that to throw fear in anybody, because we have the answer. We really do. We have the next phase. It's coming. So relax. It'll be all right. It's not Bitcoin per se. That'll be a part of it. Cryptocurrency. I know that sounds so. I wish they hadn't called it that, because that sounds really scary.
It just, the only reason for the word crypto is the fact that it's
encrypted, which means safe. Really.
Yeah.
Crypto is just the center of the word encryption, which really means. Which means secure. That's encryption is a type of digital security, really complicated, a whole bunch of
a minimum of 26. If you get a wallet, you're going to get a minimum of 26 characters in alpha and symbols as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll be
it's a really long, nasty password is what it is.
That's exactly
That's very, very, very hard to crack.
If you don't have that written down somewhere, or
you won't ever see it. It just happens in the computer, right. And it does it for you. And it's really, it's very hard for even somebody with a really complicated computer to send out there to figure out. So that's all crypto means. It doesn't mean cryptic, secure, it doesn't mean cryptic secret, somebody's is after you. It just really means secure. And blockchain, which also sounds really weird, just means an algorithmic database that also means very, very secure. So don't be scared. We got this. But anyway, that's what we're talking about. And it is it's going to help us get through this and figure out how to conduct what I call commerce by consensus, and really means that you will be able to transact whatever you want. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be currency. It doesn't have to be, coins or cotton rag things that you can't put in the wash or they'll get ripped up or whatever. So, that's really basically what this is all about and what we're talking about. But what really just needs to happen is just shifting the mindset around how we think about all this stuff. Instead of being so afraid of having to have so many of this to trade my number of these with your number of these, it will just be, you can trade whatever you have, whether it's my phone for your headphones or
that's right,
your car for some hand sanitizer, whatever, and do it securely.
Yeah. Not all business needs to be conducted at the government level. And I would say 99% of the stuff.
It doesn't. Well, I mean, and that's it. And
outside of the taxes that the government needs for your roads.
Right. And even that can be rethought.
Well, there's a whole...
And that's a whole nother talk show, and we don't even need to go there. No. And so, but there are just, what I'm trying to say is I want the general public to understand that it's getting thought of by people that are in those industries whose job it is to think of those things, and they just need to do their jobs and take care of their families and go about their business, not worry about it. Fear kills, period.
Well, when Chase and Fidelity and the other big boys that are on the block as far as financial institutions are concerned have begun to move into that world as well already, that they're forward-thinking organizations as well. So they are, if you will, strategizing and thinking about and looking at the multiple ways of things that are going on, because they're in the business, obviously, to stay in business at this point in time.
Sure.
They're not starting up anything. They're already in process with everything going on.
People need to understand and just think, I'm not telling, I don't want to sit here like I'm telling people what to do. I want everybody to be comfortable with the fact that businesses and big companies are just people doing jobs.
Yeah, there you go.
Nobody is sitting around at a table going, we're going to screw everybody. You know what I mean? It's not. People watch too many movies and there's been so much doom and gloom and so much. It's okay. Just breathe. Well, yeah. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Yeah. It looks really ugly and it feels kind of weird, and because things are changing fast and it's going to get faster. And, there are certain factions of people who have a vested interest in making, collecting a lot of these dollars and, for themselves right now, and they think that they need to. But for the most part, the vast majority of the most part, people are just doing the same thing you are, getting up and going to work and doing their jobs, heads down, trying to feed their families and get on with their life and do what they want to do.
A little bit of recreation when you get an opportunity.
Right. And they are kind of just as scared as you are. And just pray.
Yeah. Very good.
It's going to be okay. It really, really is. We got this.
Yeah, as I say, I knew back in 2010 where I was going to go, at least with potentially businesses that I have. I mean, I do some work with crypto in the real estate world because folks are beginning to recognize what's going on with that a little bit. Mm-hmm. So it's moving already into a wide variety of marketplaces, is the way I would describe it, from clothing lines through real estate. Mm-hmm. And it's going to continue to grow for quite a period of time here. I mean, this is all still in its very, very premature and infancy, if you will.
Very much, because we're still figuring out the shift, transition of it, and the security and the technology and the program. I mean, there's work to be done.
That's right.
But we are getting there, and we will get there, and it's happening. I mean, it takes time.
That's right.
everything, it just does. I mean, we had to get through, the shift from, the paper books and the ledgers to the computers that figured out that, oh my God, they're being cooked really bad. That's bringing us to where they are now. Oopsie.
Yeah.
But that brought about this shift to where we know now, oh my gosh, we really do need to secure this and get it on an uncorruptible foundation to where everybody, it's got to be transparent, it's got to be secure, and it's got to be fair for everybody.
Yeah, one of the beauties of the internet is the fact that the amount of information that has kicked in and really exploded has really kind of helped undermine those systems which have been ready collapse for a long period of time.
Absolutely, that have been collapsed.
And the new ones are now becoming to come to the forefront and begin to bubble up through that, which is why cryptocurrency is such a,
of course,
certainly a topic of conversation within the financial. I mean, when I talk to banks about cryptocurrency, they shudder.
Right.
Because they don't know what to do with it.
Well, they don't understand it because they are so legacy and in their mindset. This is where it comes back to mindset.
I thought it was really interesting talking to somebody in the financial industry a week or so ago, where they said we would never handle we would never do cryptocurrency per se or any coins or tokens or whatever, because we can't report it back to the government. And I said, why would you even be doing that?
Why is it? Why would?
Yeah. And of course, the IRS wants to know now if you own cryptocurrency. So there's a whole.
That's the point.
Yeah. So there's this whole education going on at the paradigm level again.
Just like everything else right now, where it's been this pull.
That's right.
R versus D, L versus you versus me. That's why all this last 5 years has been so violent with this back. Not violent, but this.
There certainly is a wide gap between thoughts.
Keep talking about them. Yeah. And that's why. So you get this contrast.
It's not just the Democrats and the Republicans.
Exactly. That's what I mean. But that's the example I use.
It's the most.
Because
poignant
how
one.
could there possibly only be 2 points of view in our democracy? You know what I mean? In our republic, really.
Yeah.
But for democracy's sake, please. So we'll come back for our fourth and final segment. Please hang with us on the Rush Hour.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Patterson. I'm the founder and owner of Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists. At Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists, we take a comprehensive approach to treating patients with chronic pain in the greater Reno, Tahoe area. We believe in the biopsychosocial model. This means we use multiple disciplines such as massage therapy, physical therapy, behavioral health, and medical treatments to treat your chronic pain. A plan of care is tailor-made for each individual patient. We always recommend conservative care first, but offer minimally invasive treatments when necessary. We are your one-stop shop. If it hurts, we can help. We pride ourselves in providing passionate care and making you feel welcome and understood. We are located in Reno and in Sparks, so give us a call to schedule a new patient consult at 284-8650. Again, that's 284-8650. Or visit our website at nvadvancedpain.com. We hope you choose Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists to be your center for injury rehabilitation. nvadvancedpain.com, 284-8650.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mama. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
Getting to know you.
Let me tell you about America Matters with Eddie Floyd. It comes on every Monday at noon. Don't want you to miss it. That's America Matters with Eddie Floyd.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the fourth and final segment of today's Rush Hour. I am your host, Kelly Rush, and I am here with Tim Parrott of Silver State Token. And we are talking about kind of, well, I was going to say the future of commerce, but just the future. Let's just say the future, because it's all connected and it all affects. It's all connected and all affected. Hey, Dee Gregory, let's say hi to, shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Eddie Floyd and Rick Cornell and Suzanne Brandon and ciao Ivano Santameri, wonderful chef from over there at La Strada, which I hope will be opening up soon. And it's just wonderful to have all you guys tuned in. I really appreciate that. And so let's go back. We were talking about kind of the contrasts that that's been happening, really bubbling up over the last 5 years. And I've been saying for a long time that 2020 was going to be a huge tipping point, and I believe I'm correct in that. As things have really bubbled up here, and we've been shown a lot of it looks like conflict, and I use the example of, L versus R versus D, you versus me, and political stuff really has brought up a lot of it, but it's not that. It's really just not that. But think about it. How on earth could there only be two? And then think about this. The Dominicans and the Republicrats. They are two heads of the same beast. Left wing, right wing, same bird.
I say coin has two sides.
Yeah, I mean,
and they spend the same way.
Well, I mean, seriously, they're in cahoots, kids. They really are. One wants big government, the other wants bigger government. That's all there is to it. And so, they have been controlling us with fear and, roiling this economy, boom bust every, 10 to 15 years since I've been through it now. I actually lost money in Black Monday in 1987 at age 21. So I have been going through this personally for a very long time. I am fixing to be 52 years old on Saturday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. So it's more like congratulations. I made
that
it.
Too.
So, I have actually been studying this for a very long time. So I know exactly what's going on. I really do. And I'm not going to go into it here. Not this show anyway. But so we've been talking about the financial systems, which, that's what they are, and fiat currency and, debt and credit and things like that. How the current system operates. I won't say how it works, how it operates. And the new things that have kind of come along, like cryptocurrency. Whoops, I didn't intend for that to happen. Sorry, guys. They're like, yeah, you're on the right track. So Bitcoin is the one most people have heard of. Ethereum is the other one. That's more than just cryptocurrency. That's other things too that you can work with on the blockchain, which is really just an algorithmic database. And let's go one step further. Cryptocurrency scares people because they've heard of this, it's gone up to $1,000 per coin, and then it crashes and it goes up and it down, and it's been stolen and it's been lost. And, let's talk about the idea of backed cryptocurrency with hard assets behind it. Remember, we used to have a gold standard where the dollar actually had something behind it, which I don't remember that. Nixon killed that when I was just a very little girl. So I don't, that wasn't in my lifetime. So I don't even know what really that meant, So how about the idea of this cryptocurrency having things behind it like real estate or perhaps minerals or, even gold?
Well, that's
Explain something like that.
Yeah, that is where a real, again, shift in the mind and change would come, because you actually have something now that you can hold on to and prove that that there is something behind what you're doing. Again, at a private level, it wouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This has nothing to do with the central bank. No. This is the same concept.
So with the opportunity to use a crypto with something that is truly backing it, whether it's silver, gold, as you say, real estate, boats, cars, whatever the magic number.
Doesn't matter what's behind.
Rare books, the whole 9 yards. Computers, the whole 9 yards. You have an opportunity to actually have some. And this is the
bushels of hemp.
This is the problem with the fiat dollar, with Ethereum, and with Bitcoin. The word confidence in it, because there's really nothing backing any of those three items I just mentioned. But if you had something, if you will, on the ground or in your hand, you've got something to deal with at that point. And the opportunity to trade, swap, whether that's with cash or without cash or with a token and a combination of cash and a token, all of that really opens up the opportunity to move forward with relationships, with the commerce side of it. It's just completely different thinking and approach.
Not only that, it's like double, triple secure, because not only do you have the hard asset, you've also got the security of the blockchain and the transparency. It's extra.
Yeah, you're providing more than one layer of confidence and security, because you've got something that you can put
plus
your hands on.
Plus value, plus trust. I mean, this to me is the ultimate.
Well, this is the thing I like about this. Let's play with gold for a moment. Gold is on its way back up again. Everybody that's watching anything at all about the market.
It was about 1760.
Yeah, that's the last I heard
yesterday.
As well. Is that right? So even if it goes down, let's talk about it. If it regresses, it still has value.
Well, of course, always, because it's
and the token still has some value associated with that as well. So you haven't lost anything, and you still have the ability to move it from peer to peer, person to person, as the case may be. And that's the beauty of having something that is just not, again, based on confidence.
Right, just trust me that Well, this computer programming, this code that I.
You and I've had conversations, so we understand why, or the reason that Nixon went off the gold in '72. We were already at that point in time in a major debt, and the only thing we could do is.
I was 4.
I won't tell you how old I was.
It doesn't matter. That's a whole other.
That's right. But the bottom line is, if you had a cryptocurrency with actually something behind it, now you've got a bigger force. You've got a bigger force for a future economy than what's going on today. So the ability to put smart contracts on the blockchain associated with something that is in fact a hard asset, I'll use that word, that you can then do whatever you need to with it, a physical asset. Can you do it? So that's, for me, that's what I see coming into the future. There's the areas that I think that folks are building on right now, is finding or having the ability to go out and say, hey, you can have this X, Y, and Z, and by the way, you can have the token as well, because the token's tied to this.
Right. And I think in situations like what we have right now, where things are potentially declining, potentially crashing, potentially cratering, we're at the precipice of a potential something that I'm thinking may make 2008 look like we were playing a game of Monopoly, but people will still have things that they physically own. They may not have money in the bank that they thought they had from retirement accounts or whatever, but they may have, a collection of cars, or maybe a boat, or houses that multiple houses that all of a sudden, oh gosh, the bank told me it used to be worth $400,000, but it's still sitting there. People need to live places. They still need to, hey, they may want to go boating or motorcycling or whatever. It's just because they don't have these paper cotton rag things in their pocket.
Well,
methods of exchange still exist,
That's
and
exactly
here
right.
we go.
That's exactly right.
This is how you do it.
Yeah. So I think that's where the real future is going to lie. It's a token with something in the way of a hard asset that can be traded, swapped, or sold if you still believe in the fiat currency. And I think that there will be a fiat currency. I think something is going to still sit in behind all of this, whether it's devalued or however, whatever the
Sure, for a
government
time
decide
being.
to do it.
Of course.
And so
of course.
you're gonna,
there's transition. We have, it takes things.
You're gonna
These
be there.
things take time. Mindset shifts take time, and that's ultimately what we're talking about here, and what I started with, mindset. And as
that's what I see for the future. I see something that's.
Go ahead. You could, yeah.
I just see something that is, in fact, backed by something hard that then can
Something
be
physical.
something physical, and will ride the wave.
I agree.
And up for argument or discussion.
It's all about
is,
the end result, not if people will focus on what they ultimately want, not how they get there. That's what matters. We waste so much energy focused on, oh my God, how am I going to get? Just take a deep breath. Focus on your dream. Focus on what it is that you really want. Don't worry about how you're going to get there. And you'll be shocked at how much better things get for you.
I've always told my sons, do what you love what you do, the rest of it will come.
You got it.
The
That's
travel, the fame, the fortune.
That's exactly right. And forget about the fear. Fear kills. Fear kills dreams. Fear kills your heart. Fear kills your stomach. Take a deep breath. Focus on love. Focus on what you want, and your life will improve dramatically. And thank you, Tim Parrott, so much for bringing us this great information, and we will do this again and again. Everybody have a wonderful evening. We'll see you tomorrow on the Rush Hour with my good friend Dee Gregory. We're going to have Freeform Friday. Have a great night, everybody.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Grandpa!